Hello, people, and welcome to the first episode of Clubhouse with me, Ben.
And me, Josh. Coming up in today's episode, we'll be speaking about life without booze, starting your own YouTube channel and putting yourself out there.
Josh's rant about the latest Arctic Monkeys album.
Yeah. And we'll be speaking about our highlights of the week.
If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. We'll be releasing a brand new episode every week.
Every single week. So with that being said, stay tuned and let's get into it. You don't get to have these sort of conversations.
Never sit down and
you never sit down and speak like this, and just.
That's why it'll be good to get together for a podcast each week, because it will actually force us to sit down and just chat, because we'd never really do it otherwise, would we?
Yeah, the only time people ever do it and is when you're getting steaming and you're out and about and you're half cut, or maybe conversations you won't remember, or you're feeling a little bit more ready to open up. But
talking of getting steaming, just before we started, we were chatting about how the last 3 weeks have been for you since you've been off the booze.
Yeah. You want me to talk about
you get into that, yeah.
Sound. I've actually loved it because we'll save this for another podcast, but the struggle with alcohol has just been ongoing for a long time. And I want to put it behind me because when I've had little spouts of sobriety, I've noticed I never used to realise the things it took away from me when I'm sober.
Right.
I used to just think, when I'm drunk, I might make a couple of mistakes and just do things I shouldn't. But now as I've matured a bit, done a lot of self-reflecting through the counselling courses I've been doing, grown up a little bit, do you know what I mean? Late 20s, going to be 30 soon. I've realised the hindrance it has on my other areas of my life throughout the week. For me, someone who loves music and loves guitar, and I love reading, and my relationships with my family and my girlfriend, besides that, man, nothing really drives me.
Motivates you.
Motivates me. So, and they all take a knock, man, when I'm fucking hungover and my head's in the clouds and I don't really know what I'm doing. So I've always dabbled with oh man, I've stayed sober for a few weeks now and I just feel great, and then go out and get steaming and then beat myself up because I'm
that cycle.
Feeling like shit for the next month. Because I'm one of them, mate. It's been that long now that alcohol got that heavy for me at one point, and that my hangover doesn't last 12 hours, mate. You know what I mean? It lasts 4 or 5 days, man. My head's still in the cloud on a Wednesday, and I'm overthinking. My anxiety's peaked. Whatever. We'll go into all of that another time because it can take up a 2-3 hour show, and I think with me and you,
cover it,
we both have a lot to say in it. You as well. But how it's been great, man. It's got me back into guitar again. I've been getting up at 6 every morning. Even though it's the middle of winter, sometimes I struggle to do that. I love getting up early, but winter normally is
tough. It's dark outside.
It's harder than usual, yeah. So I've been getting up at 6, doing guitar theory for 2 hours every morning before I even start work. Been getting my cold showers, been doing some mindfulness, a little bit of meditation, whatever. Been playing guitar again in the evening. I've just been walking. My own personality is I'm a very extroverted person with a spring in their step that winds people up, and a little bit of a fucking Bart Simpson character where I'm just annoying people constantly, and that's me. That's actually who I am. But when I'm hungover and in my own head, I'm not that. I become reclusive, mate. I go shut off, become introverted, and I don't like living like that because it's not me. So And then lately I've been a funny cunt, mate. I've been hilarious, mate.
Back to your old ways.
I've been in the gaff, man. I've been winding Mia up, and she's been loving it. Well, at times she obviously thinks this kid's so annoying, but I got that little spring in my step that I usually have, mate, and I want to fucking hold on to that, man.
Yeah.
Because
it's good that you see improvement in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? You're back to where you wanted to be, picking up the guitar more. It's good, man.
Yeah. This whole year's been not. I've been little spouts of that.
You never really drank you did, but I mean recently you've not been a massive drinker.
Nah, we've been headed in this direction for a long period of time. It's been such a long time coming, do you know what I mean? It's been a good few years since I was the little nutter that everyone's oh yeah, that kid's fucked, man. Do you know what I mean? It's been a long time since that, so but it's been good, mate. I've been seeing and reaping the benefits of it. Like we're talking last night, I went out, watched some live music, couple of bands at the Blue Note, just drank sober, non-alcoholic beers. The first half an hour, you know, first half, my social anxiety was peaked. I found it hard, man. I was very conscious of everything, the way I was like dancing, or even though I wasn't pulling out fucking 80s disco spins, but you know, when you're watching a live band, you're like rocking back and forth, and I thought, mate, you look like you're in a mental hospital, rocking back and forth like this.
What you're saying is like, it's just you in your own head, like nobody cares.
No one gives a fuck, mate. They're all there to watch a band, mate. I mean, I was one of like 150 people there. Like I knew no one was watching me, but I still just had that little demon like, head. Look at you fucking weirdo. So, but then the second half, mate, it subsided, and I got into the flow of things, and I didn't need any alcohol to do it. And it's relearning to be able to do that, man, because
it's something you forget. Like,
punished myself too many years.
Yeah. You do relearn. It just takes time to like readjust to the new way of your new life. You know, not your new life, but you know the way things are different. Things you used to do with booze are different without booze. So
and I got
just readjusting.
Got to just find that place where I'm like okay with, you know, being out in public as well, man. I don't want to like not drink and be like, oh, you know, I don't drink these days, so no one sees me, or I you know, I'm scared.
That's the mistake I made when I first stopped drinking. I just 6 probably.
Round of applause though.
Almost
3 years
nearly. 3 years. I think February, man. January or February. I checked, but when I stopped drinking, 6 to 9 months, I didn't see anybody, and then it became a big thing. I was like, shit. I mean, don't speak to any of the boys much anymore. Like now and again, we'd send a message on Facebook or whatever, but other than that, didn't go to any social events, no birthdays, nothing like that. And then I realised that's just as unhealthy as drinking all the time, because you don't want to lose all your mates. So just made the effort to see people more, and then it got easier, and now it's just like the norm for me. Yeah.
Sorry, you know that like the period of time where it got easier and easier.
Yeah.
Do you think you could like dictate the time frame on that, or like say how long that took?
No, not really. Like I would say it was at least 6 to 9 months before I started making an effort to see people again and go out and that. And then I would say probably from this year, the beginning of this year, where I probably came into my home and I was like, yeah, this is just the new normal for me now. Kept in touch with all my good friends, back out at social events, going to birthdays and that, and it was just normal. It wasn't like a thing anymore. I didn't even like think about it or worry about it. So yeah, probably 2 years in. Yeah, 2 years in, I'd say I'm kind of over the whole drinking thing.
Where you're like, oh, this is just me
it's just
now.
the new normal now.
Yeah, this is...
And like not worried about, you know, missing out and things like that. So yeah, probably about 2 years.
Yeah, man. And I think that's a good point. And something you were saying earlier to me before we started was that like a good thing to have as hobbies and drive and like something to do on the side as well. Because I think from speaking to people that the bevies have taken a knock to, they say like, so when Saturday comes, I'm so bored, man, that by the time the evening comes, I'll go out. But you do need other hobbies, right? You can't just be like, I'm going to give up alcohol, or I'm going to whatever your vice is. It doesn't have to be alcohol. But if I'm going to stop doing this, then
I think you need hobbies, but I think you also need a goal. Like I didn't plan it, but when I stopped drinking, I started running at the same time, and then within like a couple of months, I was setting goals in running. So like I was working towards something and I had something to focus on. So like not drinking became a little bit easier because it was like I wanted to run a marathon, then I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. So like, and drinking didn't lend itself to doing those things. So it made it easier not to drink. So like have something to do, keep you occupied. But if it's just like playing FIFA, or if it's just, that's not going to probably do it. You need, I reckon, a goal, something you're working towards. That will help you keep off the booze if you want to stop. Yeah. But yeah, it's...
And obviously, the things you were working towards, are very like health driven as well. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? You're not like just swapping one thing for another that's going to affect you in a bad way. You're running, mate, which...
Exactly. And like, it was like, because it was health related and fitness, and I needed to be like consistently out running, consistently training, consistently eating well, I knew that if I did start drinking again, that would have just fell away. So it's like I didn't want to drink because I didn't want to fuck the running up.
So I mean, you can't be out at 4 in the morning and go for a 6 in the morning jog.
I've tried it a few times.
Someone's going to fucking find you on the pavement.
Before I properly started running this time, I tried a marathon like 4 or 5 years. I don't know when it was, but when I was still drinking, and like it just didn't work because like I had all these training to do. During the week, as soon as I got to the weekend, I'd miss like 2 of the big runs because I'd been out the night before, because I wanted to go out the next night. So it was just like, so yeah.
And that's a one-way ticket to start beating yourself up again.
So then I didn't run the marathon that year, and then I didn't run at all for the next 3 years, and that was just another thing that I never got around to doing. And it wasn't because of the booze; it just doesn't help.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
But at least, like, as well, the apprehension of, missing out on things subsides as well, because I think that plays a big part in people not wanting to, because it's like... But there's obviously a way to not miss out, though, and still not, like, drink.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. It is hard because, mate, I remember, like, I don't go to town anymore anyway. I'm certainly not going there sober, do you know what I mean? Because you see everyone for, like, what they are. Drunk people are highly annoying. One of them myself at multiple times over the duration of whatever. But it's just it's just other things that, like, my point being, those social environments are so much harder to be in when you're the only like sober person. One. So
it's a whole different.
You do have that like, oh fuck. And then you don't want to miss out on things as well. So then you really just start to beat yourself.
Yeah, that was huge for me at first. But then I was like, I had this like little realization where I was like, well, what am I missing out on? It's nothing I've not done before. I've enjoyed the 4, 5, 6 years I've drank, partied. I've had a good time. I know I want to do something different. So it's like, at first I was like, it was tough. Like, that's why for 6 months I didn't see anyone. So I was like, I came off socials as well pretty much. So I didn't want to see what was going on. But then, I kind of just got over it and that. And I think you just got to, if you want something different, I look back on our not our childhood, because when we were drinking, but like our teenage years when we were drinking up to like 24, they were some of the best days of my life. But to keep doing that, I don't know. I wanted something different. So it was once I realised that you've had your good fun, you enjoyed it, you want to do something different now. Yeah, it was easy, kind of. That just clicked for me. I was like, I'm happy,
Yeah, and I think that's a good place to be in as well, because when you personally know you're done with something, to say goodbye to it sometimes it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
If you're like, nah, this has really ran its course for me. You see it in like relationships and that as well. You're like, nah, I'm
just
out.
makes it easier. And that was it. And like,
so
it wasn't
easier.
at first, because like the first 3-6 months, like you said, I did think about it. I was like, I wanted to still drink kind of, and I didn't want to miss out. I wanted to stop drinking, but I didn't want to miss out. I still wanted to kind of, but as soon as the realisation was in, I didn't want to drink anymore. And it wasn't like I was trying not to. I just didn't want to. So, and that's a whole different, trying not to do something because when you want to versus not wanting to do it. It's just, one is a struggle, one is just easy. So
it's a completely different battle.
Yeah, it's a different thing, yeah.
It's a different battle,
It is a different thing, so.
Through and through.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, well done, man.
We'll have to do another episode on that.
We
Update,
will. We'll go into it deep as well.
We were just chatting about, I'm at a different place where I'm thinking about maybe drinking again. And so.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, we will go into it, man. We need like a proper one on, drinking and the effects it's had on me and you, how it's affected our lives.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
That needs a whole pod, man, because...
So, topic of the week.
Deep,
Arctic Monkeys' new album. Right, so I know since the album before this came out, and then this album came out, that you've got a lot to say on this. A lot to get off your chest about artists trying new styles. So I think I'll hand over to you.
Oh, mate, where do I start? Like, actually, well done for reminding me that, because I get so, like, not uptight, but I get so, like, passionate and involved, mate, that I can go down any route. So, I love this. I love their new album, the album Cars, yeah? So... the day it came out, man, and this is when I know I fucking love an album, right? Because I'll whack it on Spotify, and I'll listen to it all morning, right? because that's how I listen to music now. I just put the album on repeat, go around. Sometimes I'll be doing nothing, I'll zone in, whatever. Sometimes I'll be listening at work, but you don't appreciate music when you're doing other stuff. So sometimes I just sit and listen to it. Anyway, I listened to this like 4 or 5 times in the morning. I thought, I'm going straight to the vinyl shop getting that on record, so I want to listen to it on record instead of this. And the first side A, I've been playing, mate, for about, what did it come out 2 weeks ago now? So I've just been playing every day.
So you're a big fan of the new album?
I like the new album, yeah. I can see why people don't, and I get it, but I don't care. All right?
There's been some heated debates about the last album.
Yeah, the last album got shat on, right? And by like
Did you like that one?
By
Was
everyone.
it Baseline and Tranquility?
Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. Yeah, I like that one. I bought that.
Did you?
Do you know what? It's funny actually. I got that on vinyl as well, but I bought it offline, and they sent me it the day before it came out, and I had people around. And mate, there's anarchy in the gaff, man.
Put it on.
Yeah, I put it on, mate. I was with about 4 people, yeah, and they were just like,
"What's this?"
But I still thought, now I'm gonna listen to it. It's one of those you can sit on, man, and just keep. I think this album is a while better than the last one, its predecessor. But let's just go back to. I don't want to take over here, but I want to
ask you a question.
Go on. If it wasn't the Arctic Monkeys, I know you're going to say that. Like.
If it was a new band, their first album, and you had none of this attachment to the Arctic Monkeys, would you like Hotel and Baseline? What's it called?
Tranquility Base.
Tranquility Base, and would you like Cars?
Would I like it?
Do you think, honestly, you would like them?
I would look at them completely different, man. And I don't know if that question to me is like ambiguous because when you're a fan of someone like a band and that, and you appreciate their music, it's like I'm so much more into like the creative, artistic aspects of things than I am like the consumerism aspect. You know what I mean? Like I know I don't give a fuck, man, if you don't release an album that I was wanting you to release. You know what I mean? Like so for me, the Arctic Monkeys, they've been on top twice. When they came around, you know, when the internet was first starting. I'll answer the question. I'm not going to deter away from it, but I mean, they took over, mate. They reinvented themselves when they released AM.
That was my favourite.
That was same here, and they sprung, you know, vinyl sales back into action. No, that started peaking again, and then that was 5 albums in, mate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums in, yeah. After 5 albums, you can do what you want, mate. And he's not like a 20-year-old lad from Sheffield anymore that's drinking in fucking pubs. You know what I mean? He's a famous man that's been famous now for nearly 20 years, same as the rest of them that now live in America. Their music's going to be different. Of course, it doesn't have to be like fucking lift music or whatever one of people call it. But my point...
But it seems to annoy you that people don't like it.
It did last time. Last time I hated it. Now I'm saying, okay, man, I'm not going to argue with you. I get it. Yeah, last time I proper stuck up for them was just arguing black and blue with literally anyone that wanted to argue with me saying, you don't understand, you don't get it. I had some proper heated debates with people, like shouting matches, just saying, you don't understand. But now I'm like, if people don't get it, man, I actually get why they don't get it. But it's all those, you know, another thing that pisses me off, man, it's all those like knuckle dragging, stuck in the past.
You're talking about other boys here.
Oasis fans that fucking are like, mate, where's the heavy rock? Do you know what I mean? Like, they can't see past.
No, but that's like, if you like a band, you like a band because you like their music.
Yeah.
They have a style. Yeah?
Yeah, I suppose.
And then if they completely change their style,
it's going to be disheartening.
And you don't have to like it.
No, you don't have to like it, no. I've came to terms with the fact you don't have to like it, yeah. I'm not always right. But to answer your question, what did you say? You said, would I like it?
Would you like them? So, like, you're talking about their meteoric rise.
Yeah.
AM. And then you're saying he can do what he wants.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. So to answer the question, like, for me personally, I think because I've had that, like, infatuation with the Arctic Monkeys over so many years, and I love Alex Turner's voice, the sound of it, you know, the way he speaks, and it's so prominent and, like, prolific on these later albums that because it's his voice, that's why I think I'm just like, no, I'm okay with this, you know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, what is this shit? Like if that makes sense, the way you say, like, if it wasn't the Arctic Monkeys, would you like it? Like, I would have a completely different opinion. I might like it, but I would never know. But but I think the fact that I know who it is and it's someone that
has an impact.
I'm into.
You have a bias.
I have a bias, because of like the nostalgia and my fucking like infatuation for them.
And you appreciate music more than most people. I would say
definitely.
So like you're coming at the album with a lot more appreciation.
Yeah, I am.
Whereas some people just want to listen to
some people want something to whack on at a party and get down to. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, I was speaking to Kieran and I was saying like, I was saying like the way I look at this, is like the old albums is like beer and cigarettes, do you know what I mean? And this album is like cigars and whiskey. Oh, you know what I mean, and that's how I just see it. I just see it like that.
The new one, like I listened to it today, like you said. I need to listen to it more. Yeah, but it's a whole different vibe. It's like I would say. I was speaking to Megan. I was like, it's cinematic. Like I can imagine it being like a movie soundtrack. That's
what I was saying today to Mia. Yes,
every song it would be part of the movie soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly that. But
there wasn't one song that jumped out at me, and I was like, yes. Okay. Not yet.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. So, and it's the same with me. You know, like I've bought the record, song 1 to song 5, from the opening track to Body Paint. That's the whole side A of the vinyl.
Yeah.
And I just keep spinning that. There's no song on the second half has proper grabbed me.
I like the last one, Pressure or something.
Oh yeah, Self-Help.
No.
No, why do I think it's called
Perfect Sense?
I quite like
that one.
Did I say Self-Helpful? Perfect Sense. Yeah, that's quite good. Yeah. Well, you liked it because the album finished after that.
Turn it off.
But yeah, and I think what I appreciate in the music is it's like there's key changes and the way it leads up to something, and I like it when I'm listening to it. Now I'm familiar with it. I'm like 3, 2, 1, and then something comes in that I know is coming that I can't wait for.
I like the cigar lounge analogy, whiskey and cigar.
Yeah, and that's what it is to me, mate. Because I'm at home these days and I'm chilling.
But what if you went to a gig?
If I went to a gig
and he only played his new album, how would you feel?
I'd probably be horny, mate. I'd probably be fucking turned on. Do you know what I mean? Because he's like he's molded into that dude. He's not got his fucking like not like bowl haircut and you know tracky bottoms on, and he's like they're all wearing
that's what people
suits.
Loved about it.
They're all wearing suits.
AM was when they jumped from that though. AM they started dressing like.
And this is another thing that annoys me. AM is peak. Mate, AM is release a reggae album after AM. I don't give a fuck, mate. You've done
Once you've done AM.
Yeah, like it's sound, man. You're like you can move on and do what you want. But that's where I think it started to annoy me. That it's just like, mate, your consumerism aspect just pisses me off because it's like.
What do you mean when you say consumerism?
Like people just want, like what you said, the bands they're into. People just want what they've already been given 100 times. You know what I mean? Like all this. You shouldn't be dictated to a specific genre if that's not what you want to do. As an artist, that's not what you want. It's like, how fucking sad must it be if you're like, mate, I'm just doing me over here. I'm creating the music that I want. Fair enough, you're all listening to me or whatever. But we didn't
say you're over it, yeah? But
there's anger in me.
There is anger in you. And what you're saying is people shouldn't be criticising the album because it's not the same as what they first fell in love with the band for.
Yeah, but that's because I've had arguments with people who are just like... I don't know. I'm being a twat here.
You wish people liked it more.
I wish people liked it more. Or no. I wish people didn't give a fuck if they didn't like it. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't shit on people. Don't like write on their fucking.
How can you say that?
Because I read the comments. I read comments all the time. I read reviews.
Say you have loved the Arctic Monkeys. You grew up on them. It's the soundtrack to your childhood and your everything. Like every good memory you have is associated with that band. And then they drop Bassline, Tropical Hotels.
Doing that on purpose, right?
And surely you're allowed to be gutted. And I care that the album doesn't live up to your not your standards, but what you expect from that band.
I agree with you. Yeah, you can. But I don't know how to put it. It's a good point. Like, yeah, obviously people are allowed to have their opinion, but I think my opinion is you're allowed to like it and you're allowed to not like it. But
call them you're gonna piss me off.
No. It's the aggressiveness of the people that don't like it. Like some of the
like you.
like the yeah, probably like me, the other guy of me, like my who would
the
be
opposite of you,
who would be my enemy. Because it's just like, you know, like sellouts and you've lost your head and you're crazy these days, and I just think that's too far, bro. It's like just an album. You still have all those albums. Like people don't get it. That he's not fucking terminally ill, mate. He's not going anywhere. Like, Arctic Monkeys, huh?
4 is he?
He's 40, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, he's 37. He'll be 40 soon, like a couple years. Free, by the way. Nah, but like. My point is, mate, it's their 7th album. They might have 15 before they call it a day. They might call it a day after this one. You never know. But you have all of that music, and there's so many other good bands out there as well.
Not every album can be an absolute banger. Come on. Yeah. And when you've got like 3 or 4 like masterclasses, come on. No, I don't
give
disagree.
people a bit of breathing room, a bit of leeway. I find people are just psychotic in how much they want to take people down. I hate the negativity of it. Like I actually do. If you don't like it, I get it. But just like stay in your own lane. Go find something you do like.
They must have expected it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they did.
They knew that they're gonna reinvent themselves or whatever. They knew.
But you don't play to other people's fiddles, mate. Like I know, obviously fans.
I get that.
But that obviously it's naive me saying that a little bit because
you're nothing without the fans.
Yeah, they grant you your popularity, right? Yeah. They're what can send you to like either pub gigs or into the stratosphere. So they're not to be taken for granted. But it's his 7th album. Come on, man, 7 albums like sound. I just think do what you want. Like just sound, mate. Just appreciate whatever you get. Appreciate whatever you get. It happened the other day, mate. Blink-182. There's 3 of them. One's called Tom DeLonge, and he went off and done his own thing. He hasn't been in the band for about 10 years, right?
Solo?
Yeah, he done solo. He went in he started getting into aliens, UFOs and stuff like that, right? And there's like a dichotomy in the group. They're falling out over stuff, so they went their separate ways. And then it's been a meme and it's been like a conversation ever since. Like, the day he comes back, man, it's going off. Blink-182 fans, pop punk fans, anyone listens to that, like, it's going off, yeah. Other day, like, people started hearing rumours. The internet was in a bit of a frenzy. And then, boom, Tom's back. World tour. New song. This isn't the Blink-182. This isn't the Blink-182. This isn't the one we remember. I'm like, why would it be? Why would it be? Why would it be? Yeah. We spoke about this actually the other day, and it's another point I'm gonna make. I write a lot of songs, obviously completely different thing. Yeah. I don't even like writing about the songs and the poems. Writing about the stuff I was writing about 3 years ago, mate. So I could not imagine what 20 years later would do to you 10 years later.
Your life's different,
When your life's so different, you're a completely different person.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
People don't want that. Like, people don't like as an artist, as a creative person, when you're sitting down and writing, like it pains. I imagine, if especially being that famous, it will pain you to be like, all right, here's a carbon copy of the album I once wrote. I've tweaked a few things. We've changed a few chords. Like you with your running and all your hobbies, you like to challenge yourself. You like to be like, right, where can I test myself? Where can I push boundaries? And I think music artists like to do that as well. Like, what have I never done? Let me go in a direction I've never been.
Yeah, AM was pretty different.
AM was pretty different, and that was a risk.
They nailed it with that one. There was a risk, but like to your point, if they didn't take that risk, AM would have never happened.
Yeah, and I get it as well. Like, imagine an AM sequel, AM number 2. Fucking hell, that'd be great. But if you don't get it, you're like, don't get it. I don't know. I don't want to sound like a broken
it's a good point
record.
though. Your experiences do change. So the Alex Turner that's writing music today isn't the Alex Turner that was writing music when he was coming up. So his experiences are different. What he wants to write about is going to be different. So
it's going to be
that
completely
plays a
different.
huge factor, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And especially when you are who you are, do you know what I mean? Like Monkey's a huge, mate. He's a completely different person now. Doesn't live in shithole fucking rainy wherever he comes from, Sheffield. I'm joking. I don't even know if what that looks like. But yeah, the UK is just like gloomy, isn't it? Right? And I don't know. I assume he lives in America now.
LA probably.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't get. He's probably got a penthouse in fucking Hollywood. He gets rim jobs every night from like 5-star models. Why is he going to be talking about scrapping in pubs with pool cues?
Yeah, I know.
But so yeah, I've got their back to the very end, mate, and I've been digging this new album. I think it's class, man.
Yeah, I was much more open to it than the last one.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I think a lot of people think as well, it's just the Alex Turner show now. Do you know what I mean? And his bandmates are just sitting there like with their dick in their hands on the sidelines, not knowing what to do.
You don't think that's the case?
No, so I watched a few interviews of him speaking to like Zane Lowe, speaking on either that was the Radio X one or Radio X, I can't remember, Apple Music as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he was saying like, no, he does speak to them. You know, he brings them ideas. They might be like, oh, great, here we go. But they say, I think he even said, he brought up like, let's not do it like this. And they said, nah, man, it's happening the way it is. Yeah. Let it evolve the way it is. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what they try and do. Because another thing, once, like we're saying, you know, leading up to your debut, you have creative freedom, right? You're trying to find your way. You're birthing your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the minute you're signed to a record label and you have a multi-million-pound album deal where you say, right, we own you now, and you have to give us 4 albums in like 3 or 4 years, that's hard to do, right? So then you're like thinking it's contrived, it's forced a little bit.
Pressure of getting an album out on time.
And I think once you establish yourself, and you start taking breaks and hiatuses, you can then lean into coming back into that sort of, right, we're not in a rush anymore.
Yeah.
So I think after you have years of this supersonic speed like lifestyle of, you know, popping out albums like Kids or whatever, then, you know, like when you're coming back from a hiatus, you can say, right, so what we're doing, we don't need to ring the record label up. No deadlines. We don't need to say we're in the studio and we're in a rush. We're not in a rush. So let's go. Let's see what we're doing. And then, you know, the juices start flowing.
Yeah.
And then you go off in directions like that.
Are they interviewing again? Are they? I want to watch.
Yeah. Alex Turner and Matt Holders.
Yeah.
They are one of the other geezers in it. And you can look on the songwriting credits, man. It's not just him. Do you know? But the thing is about this album as well, though, I don't know what he's talking about, and I like that. I like the I've got to be inquisitive.
I haven't properly listened to the lyrics.
Yeah, I've got to be inquisitive, man. I've done this. I was being a fucking geek, man. I was up at like 1 a.m. It was like a weekday, but I wasn't at work the next day. Me was asleep, so I've got the album on in the pitch black. And just lied in bed with just listening to the album in complete silence. Nothing else, it was just complete black, just with my earphones on. It was a good little experience. It was just so nice, man. It's like cathartic. You feel all mellow in that.
You just listen to it more, you've got no other distractions.
You've got zero distractions.
When you put music on, it's in the background. Or it's like you're getting ready for work, or you just got back from you're cooking dinner. Whereas if you don't really sit down and properly listen to an album, and listen to an album from start to finish, rather than skip through songs and flick through.
I'm completely happy with it. I think no matter what direction they go in, I'll probably end up supporting them. But I would say if it was shit as well, there's a couple of songs on Tranquility Base I think is shit, man. I don't like.
What about as an album?
As an album?
Honest opinion.
Honest opinion, I would give it like a 40% of albums that I like. Songs that I like. Do you know what I mean? There's about 4 songs that I'm like, yeah, I can listen to. But it's just, it's the hooks, man. It like the verse is quite mellow, and then they come into these class hooks, and I think that's what catches me. Not like I'm easily impressed, but when it's someone that you like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's the same with the Chili's album, man. I went and got that on vinyl. And the first listen through, I was like, there's so much to decipher, mate. That's what I think. With these albums, there's so much to decipher that you have to sit on them. Yeah. That's what I think they're so better on record as well, because you have to be like present when you're listening to a record. Do you know what I mean?
I also think
you can't run around jogging with a vinyl player in your
I don't know what you think of this, but our lives are different now. So like music is like the soundtrack of your life, in that songs you remember certain songs, takes you back to certain times. Whereas like my life's not as exciting as it was then, so like I'm not associating these albums, these new songs with like some of the best years of my life. Whereas AM was when I was still out, when we were still out. So I also think that plays a factor for me anyway, in that I don't appreciate music as much now.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, it's so true, man. We had this conversation, right, that we didn't feel there was any music that in 10 years from now gonna be like, remember that classic, absolute classic, like it was with like, you know, the grunge era in the 90s or even 2000s, 2010s or whatever. And I think that is because the amount of time that you actually spend with an album, the market's so saturated with, you know, 15, 20 new albums every week that you really have to grab yourself an album you like and spend time with it. You remember back in the day, like when before iPods, you know, when it was Walkmans and you were out of the house. I remember I'd have American Idiot, Blink-182's Untitled album and The Eminem Show or Encore. Just on repeat, mate. I'd be at my granddad's, my nan's, and then boom, boom, boom. We'd just be going back through it. And I look back on those albums as such fun times. And I've been doing it lately as well, where I've been listening to an album on repeat, mate. I keep just switching the vinyl over and over and over.
Do you think like streaming and like Spotify and that's been bad for music?
100%.
In that way?
Oh, mate, 100% in that way. Yeah. It's I love Spotify, man. I'm on it every day. But in that way, yeah, you don't appreciate anymore because it takes away the physical copy. Something about holding a physical copy, whether it's a CD, a tape, or a vinyl. Do you know what I mean? It's just completely different.
I bought this, like, I went off Facebook, I met this guy and bought this, like, old vintage record player setup he had, and these two huge speakers. And normally you get those like record players off Amazon and they're tinny, they're shit, the speakers are shit. This thing was a proper setup and it just sounds different.
It sounds different.
It sounds different, and it's one of them, like you were saying before, you actually sit down with the intention to listen to the music, not just have it on Spotify on a Bluetooth speaker in the background
while you're doing something else.
Yeah.
That's it, mate. The physical copy and having it, because you have to like, it's so easy to just do boom on your phone, fucking chuck it in the corner or whatever, do you know what I mean? But when you're like a physical copy, it's there. You need to be whatever the thing is it's playing out of, do you know what I mean? You don't have earphones going for a run and stuff like that. And I've been feeling that feeling again, man, of like looking back to last year and being like, remember when I spent a month listening to, like I spent a whole month when I was listening to my old flat, listening to J. Cole. He's a rapper.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to him. And I love that month. Looking back, I love that month. I've not had like a nostalgic like music month like that in ages. Do you know what I mean? I just remember looking back. I wasn't even going through the best time because I was living my own at a flat that I hated. And now when I got J. Cole on, man, I got that warm like fuzzy feeling. It takes me back to last year.
It's a big part of music.
Yeah, it's doable. But it is in a strange state of affairs. Like, in 10 years, what you'd be like, that's a classic, man.
Yeah.
That album from 10 years ago is a classic. Well, maybe it is existing, but it's not the music we're into. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at what dominates the charts. Nothing that we're into, eh?
No, nothing. I don't. If you put the radio on, I wouldn't be able to.
Wouldn't have a clue. But maybe.
Like, even like on Spotify now, the way I use Spotify is I listen to playlists, not albums. So like I just find playlists in certain genres or made my own playlists. So I'm not really exploring new music anymore. Just listening to what I know. And it's got that new feature where it recommends songs similar. Mm-hmm. So like I might find a few new songs like that, but other than that, don't really keep an eye on what's coming out.
Yeah, the algorithm's crazy on Spotify, man.
It's good though, eh?
Yeah, it's immense. They've shown me
playlists now are so much better.
A lot of new bands.
Yeah.
A lot of new bands. But with the physical thing, like, again, just going back to how we're going to go on, but it sounds completely different. Like playing music out of your phone, and earphones give me a headache after a while.
Do they?
Yeah, especially if I'm working out. I don't know why. Like when I jog listening to music, man, I can't listen to like guitar-driven music and that. I used to work out to Marilyn Manson all the time, man, because it's crazy. And then, my head would just be pounding after it. But my music taste's changing as well. I'm not just into heavy stuff, mate. I like mellow stuff as well now. A lot of female singers. I don't mind just having them on because you can concentrate on your work. It's the quality. It's all about the quality. The quality that comes from the speakers on a record player compared to the quality that comes out of a fucking laptop or my work computer.
100%,
yeah, it's
yeah.
Cool. So did we wrap that up about the Arctic Monkeys?
I think we did.
Do you get where I'm coming from? Do you agree with me now?
I do agree with you. I feel like you're still
a
little
100% correct and everyone else is wrong.
Whoa. A little bit tender still.
We should get
still a bit raw.
We should, when we're a couple episodes deep and we found our footing, and we're super popular and hundreds of millions of you are watching us, we'll get someone who hates it.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have Alex Turner
we'll have
on.
a scrap.
We'll get Alex
Turner.
Turner.
Have Alex Turner on. He'll probably tell me I'm wrong about everything, and I just need to get my fucking tongue out of this
Let
rim.
it be. Right. I wanted to talk to you about actually YouTube channels.
YouTube channels.
Hidden in a Hoodie, and then the channel I'm going to start.
Yeah.
So obviously, on the side to this, we've said we're going to be starting our own little solo YouTube channels as a little project just to get used to posting videos, learn how to post videos, edit videos. And you've already a little bit further ahead than me in that you started Hidden in a Hoodie.
Yeah, it's called Hidden in a Hoodie because I was wearing a hoodie. And his name's pretty fucking stupid, to be honest. I'll probably...
Yeah, but what YouTube names aren't, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Think about it.
Yeah, so anyway, when we went into lockdown, man, I was really like... I was playing guitar a lot, but it was to the point where it's like... You know when you just overdo something, man, and your head goes a little bit, and, you know, the government were telling us we had to stay inside and that, so I was just like, oh, this is shit.
What was that?
Yeah.
Conspiracy, yeah?
yeah. Then we have to stay inside, yeah. Don't say the C word on here, like we'll get first one banned. But yeah, so my head was just like, this is boring. Do you know what I mean? There's only so much music you can listen to and that. So I was like, I'll go. And I know this wasn't that long ago, but I'd never had an iPhone back then either. So I said, I'll just get an iPhone as well. And then I'll start recording myself, watching guitarists online.
Yeah.
And I'll post a few like our video reaction videos. Yeah, fucking I hate that word because I've actually grown to not really like them, but I would watch guitarists, which I enjoy doing on YouTube, and then I'd sort of like speak about it, and then I'd post that. So anyway, I've got a little bit of a following doing that. Got like 1,000 subs or something, about mainly watching Stevie Ray Vaughan videos, who's a very popular guitarist.
Yeah.
And then I tried to do some other videos of like reacting to other things, like other music, and I didn't like it, mate.
Why didn't you like the React videos though?
Because it felt contrived, mate. I wouldn't speak how I'm speaking to you now. Do you know what I mean? Like free
But
willing.
I watched some today and yesterday, and you look pretty.
Do I?
Honestly, you look pretty natural. Like it didn't look forced. Like I know you, so I think I'd be able to spot if you'd like. I don't know. You seem to come across as I would expect you to come across.
You must have watched the wrong ones. Nah.
Well, you deleted all the...
I deleted loads because it had been that long, and I just thought, all right, we're going to start fresh now when we start doing our thing. But I didn't like it because inside I could feel that, you know, when there was silence, I'd feel the need to talk. I would comment something that I felt I didn't even actually mean just to try to be funny, and that's not me, man. I never have to force nothing.
Everybody that starts a YouTube channel is going to go through that.
Yeah, well, I got like 60, 70 videos in. So I should have nipped that in the bud. But no, it's nice that you said that like externally, because when you look at yourself, like you can tell if you're like, I could see in myself the way maybe I'm just remembering how I felt in that time.
But this goes back to what we were saying about your own perception of you is always worse than anybody else ever sees you.
Yeah, and I didn't like the editing as well. So like a video would be taking me ages. Yeah, I was doing it on an iPhone and iMovie, and you had to get like the video off this other website, just chopping it all up, and it'd be a nightmare. But I'm going to do it a little bit differently now, yeah. So I'll be talking about albums and stuff, and I'll be talking about music, and it's going to hopefully be a little bit music driven, and then we're going to, you know, I might put up my own songs, I might put up my own poems, I might, I'll be doing like, you know, talking about albums a bit. It's not going to be forced or contrived, man. I'm in such a better headspace as well now that I feel I'll be able to actually say what I want and not give a fuck about like if people think that's a stupid opinion or what.
Yeah.
I remember like watching videos I didn't like and being like, yeah, it's good. Even though I didn't want to just shit on someone, do you know what I mean? But now it's...
Yeah. No, I think the videos were good, and I think it was two things that... The two reasons people would want to watch you, I would say, is that you're funny. And you were funny in some of those React videos. And also your passion for music.
Yeah, well, that's my drive for doing it, my passion for music. I'm sitting on so much knowledge and information and I need another outlet to talk about music.
It's just how you package it, isn't it, with YouTube? Like, everything I'm watching at the minute it's all about capturing people's attention. Like, it depends what you want to do it for. It's purely a passion project and you're not interested in growing it. You can do the videos the way you want. But, like... Yeah, it seems so hard. It seems it's all about capturing people's attention. So you've got all this knowledge, but how do you package it in a way that you'll get people's attention and that they'll learn something from it, from the videos you put together? But it's good. Like, I'm excited for it. I think we can do a good job.
Yeah, I think we can do a good job as well. And I think it looks good on like from a CV sort of aspect, like an imaginary CV. So like, one day, man, I'm not in the occupation I want to be in. I know that. Right? It's a means to an end. I'm trying to pay my bills, whatever. Even if it pays all right, I still don't care. I would love to do something music related, you know what I mean? But imagine one day I was like, oh, there's a music critic job, or there's a music something job,
and you've got a channel,
and and it's not going to be over here where we live, but it might be online, like with the ability to do stuff online. You don't have to be present in a certain place. And I'll say, oh look, if they say, oh, who are you, like, you know what I mean, I'll be like, well, blah 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 blah.
It's your portfolio, isn't it? It's what you've done.
It's a portfolio, exactly. So
and it's a big thing, like putting yourself out there, creating a YouTube channel, filming yourself, then figuring out how to edit it, create videos. Like, it shows a lot of kind of initiative, and like we said before, it's not easy being on camera, and it's not easy hearing your sound, your own voice. So yeah, I definitely think it's a good thing to have on your CV, or have a portfolio of things you've done.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do, man. I've like heard a quote on this podcast, and it was like, we live in an attention economy, and you can either consume content or you can create content. And I was like, I don't know why, but it just made me think about like the last 2 years, and all I've done is consume content. Some of it, I'd say, like, for me, it's probably like 70-30. 70% is good content. Like, I'm listening to podcasts about nutrition, health, self-improvement, but then 30% is just nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 60-40, let's be honest.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah, but like, what if I spent more? Would I get more benefit? Would it give me more value in my life to create content instead of just consuming content? And I think without a doubt the answer is yes. And I'm gonna get so much more out of it, do you know what I mean? Rather than just, if I spent that 40% of time that I'm listening to shit or watching shorts on YouTube or random videos about guys that have run, like they film their races or their training. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it now and again, but what if I was creating content instead? I think it would be much more valuable. But it's not easy. Like, even the last 4 weeks, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed it, and I've learnt a lot in the short 4 weeks I've been thinking about it and really kind of wanting to do it. But putting yourself out there and like filming yourself and that, it's not easy. But you kind of got over that pretty quick. Like, well, you say you haven't, but it seems like you did in those videos.
Yeah, it depends. It entirely depends on what I'm doing, how much I'm enjoying myself, how much it's something I'm actually into, as opposed to something I feel like I should be doing. That makes a big difference. If it's something I'm passionate about, it just flows off the tongue.
Here's one though.
Sure.
You seen success in those React videos. Yeah. Yeah. And you said the job you're doing now isn't necessarily something you want to do. Yeah. Would you rather...
Oh, fucking right.
Do you know what I mean? And then once you've done your Alex Turner and you've reached the top of the React world, you can branch into your own... Yeah. You know? Yeah. But yeah, no, it's... I'm enjoying it. It's just I need to get over that putting yourself out there. Especially, I've not been on social media for like 2-3 years now either. So I'm not even like used to like posting just pictures or what I'm up to in the week and that. So it's a big change for me.
Yeah, it's a big change. You're looking forward to it though?
I am, yeah. Like I was saying to you, I think it was the other week I was saying to you, there's nothing more I love than being a beginner in something. Mm-hmm. And that's where I feel like I am now. Beginner at being on camera, filming myself, learning Final Cut Pro and editing videos, figuring out what makes a good YouTube video, what makes good content, what type of content do I want to do. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good.
Yeah. And I feel like creating content's like mind occupying, whereas consuming it's just mind numbing, isn't it?
Oh, that's such a good way to put it. Yeah, it's so true. And I look at videos differently now. Like, when I'm watching a video, I'm thinking like, why did I click on this? Or, you know, why am I still watching this? Or, you know, yeah, so it's shifted.
It's the algorithms, mate. They know what they're doing.
They do. But it's like, it's shifted the way I even consume content now, because I'm looking at it as someone who wants to create content, not as a mind-numbing kind of distraction.
It's funny you say that, actually, because I'll catch myself sometimes, because like my social media sort of me on it.
Yeah.
I don't do that a lot, but then I'll go on my phone, I've got to check somewhere. I need my phone to log into my work laptop, so I'll unlock my phone for that to log into the work laptop. And then I'll just click on fucking like funny, like Instagram feed for the funny videos. And the minute it starts loading, I'm like, I'll now acknowledge it and be like, mate, don't even start looking at that shit. Yeah, because I don't want to see it anymore. Because
it's so easy to get sucked in.
It's so easy, but you don't even know. It's autopilot sometimes, isn't it? Yeah. You're like not conscious. You're just like, mate, how did I even get here?
That's the only one bad thing I say about the 4 weeks. It's like, because I want to create content, I've almost had like a free pass to study videos and be on YouTube and see what other people are doing. So probably need to like limit my time where I'm studying videos to an hour a day.
But with that being said, though, like the tool, it's necessity. I think to get off the ground, man. It's free fucking lessons, isn't it? Right? It's like you don't need to go buy a teacher, man.
YouTube, honestly, there's not. I'm sure there is, like being a doctor and that, but there's not much that an everyday person could not learn from YouTube. Editing videos, crafts, like you name it, there'll be somebody on there.
Say something random. YouTube, if you can do it.
What?
Just I don't know how to what.
Knit a sweater. That's 100%. There'll be millions of views. Build a bench.
How to build a bench.
How to build a bench. Here.
How to build a bench.
How many views do you reckon?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I want to say a bit.
First video, DIY modern outdoor bench.
How to build a bench.
1.4 million views.
1.4.
The $15 15-minute bench. 1.8 million views.
So multiple ones, yeah.
2 million, 1.4.
Fuck's sake,
it's
man.
crazy.
See, there's nothing you can't do.
Nothing. I'm going to build a bench tomorrow.
This is how we made this.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been exciting.
What?
It's just, for me, I need to figure out like the type of content I would want to create.
That was going to be my next question.
So
then what are you going to put out there? What are you going to do?
So I know what I'm going to do. I'm doing the Success and Nothing Less show.
Is that OnlyFans?
Maybe.
Hey, we'll see. If it doesn't pick up.
Yeah, if YouTube doesn't work out, it's plan B. But no, so I'm going to be interviewing people.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interview podcast where I interview people about what their idea of success is, you know, their biggest achievements in life, their biggest failures, what they've learned along the way, what advice they would give to people like me and you who are kind of starting that journey, wanting to kind of do something new in our lives or do something different with our lives. And it's going to be focused on like 3 areas: health, wealth, and happiness.
Health,
wealth,
and
happiness, success, and nothing less. That's like the strapline.
Wealth.
So it's not going to be be about money.
That's not too many words. That's doable.
It's not about money. It's like, it's just interviewing people. That's the hard thing. Being a good interviewer, I think, is it's an art. It's not like. It depends who you're interviewing, I guess. But yeah.
Sorry. No, that'll be good because you'll be interviewing people, right? I'll be putting you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So you'll be you're not going to be as close to these people as you are with me. Yeah. So that's going to be nerve-wracking a little bit. That's going to build confidence, that character development. You're going to be like a fucking GTA character by the time you finish. Yeah. So you've got that side of it. You've also got, if like you just said, health, wealth, and happiness, right? You're going to be speaking to people that have experiences that me and you don't have at all. Like, and they've been knowledge we're not going to know.
Exactly.
Because that hasn't been part
and that's
of our
what it's
life.
about. It's like, I listen to podcasts to get information and knowledge and advice in those areas. And like, that's what I'm like, the same way you're passionate about music, I'm passionate about like self-improvement and like always pushing myself, learning about new things, being a better person. So rather than listen to podcasts, why don't I interview people who I know have been successful in one or more of those areas? People I don't know, people I can reach out to people over here.
Yeah.
Ask them if they'd want to be a guest on the show. So it's, I think it's more of a passion project for me, and I think interviewing people, like you say, putting yourself out there and having to interview someone, that's going to be huge. But also just talking about things that I love to talk about.
Yeah, precisely. And the effect it's going to have on you through the fact that, you know, podcasts, like we're just talking about music, right? You can be doing other things when you listen to a podcast.
Yeah,
About 90% of the people that listen to podcasts
get like
listen to them in the background. Yeah.
And they get like 15 minutes of a 90-minute podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to do that, mate, because you're face to face with someone sitting here.
Yeah.
So all of your what's the fucking word? All of your attention is going to be on them, man. And nowhere else.
It's just it's hard. I've been trying to kind of what style of interview it's going to be, what type of questions, because how surface level do you go a little bit deeper? Like I want to understand why people have been successful, what motivates them versus what motivates me, what people's idea of success is. You know, like it's not all about money, but does money buy happiness? People that have got money, what's their opinion on whether money buys happiness? Is it important because they've achieved that level? You know, they've experienced it, they know. So, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, did you say that you had someone lined up?
Got someone lined up, yeah, James Matthewson. So he's a digital marketing expert. He's like he was former professor of digital marketing and luxury at Monaco University. He's got his own businesses. He's got a magazine that reaches like 500,000 readers. He's a super interesting guy.
That's guest number one, yeah?
Yeah, I actually thought about this. I considered, before I sent the email, I was like, should I have like lined up a few guests to practice on? But I thought, fuck it, just jump in the deep end.
What's his magazine on?
It's a luxury magazine where he talks about all like the latest news in luxury, and then advertisers.
Tell him to give you a fucking page, man.
Yeah, so it's going to be like I'm so keen to talk to him because I attended his digital marketing course, and he talks about leveraging social media to build your personal brand, which is kind of what we're talking about, having a portfolio, putting yourself out there. So I just want to pick, it's perfect timing, you know, I'm at the start of my journey in going down that, building my personal brand, putting myself out there, creating content. So he's the perfect guest to have on. So pick his brains, his experience of social media, how he's used it to build his businesses, his brand. I've got loads of questions for him. So
good man. He sounds like a knowledgeable person.
Yeah, he is.
Like
he's
someone
super.
that you want.
And do you know what I love about him? We've met briefly, and I was going to do some work with him on the side and like volunteering to learn from him, but it never worked out because we were just buying this place. And as always, I took it on a few too many things. But he's always doing multiple things. Like he's not just, like we were saying before, he's not just boxed in on one thing. He's got his luxury magazine. He's got a digital marketing company. He's got Pizza Box. You heard of Pizza Box over here? It's like a takeaway pizza that you build your own at home. So he does that. He's got his magazine, and that's what I love. Like I love having multiple things on the go at once. So hopefully I'll get some advice on managing that. So
he's a good first person to have.
Yeah, but I do need to practice. So I'll be interviewing you again before, if that's all right. Be good to get it on mic actually, because that was a class interview.
Oh yeah,
it was good. Yeah. If you're happy to,
I'm more than happy to. Yeah, why not? These conversations have been great.
Yeah.
We hit the hour mark.
We have.
It's not bad.
So we wrap it up.
But yeah, what else was on our agenda?
We had highlight of the week we finished with.
Highlight of the week. Damn it. So what was last week? Monday. Why did I say it like that?
I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, I know. It's not even Monday today. It's Saturday. So I was just trying to go through my whole week, and obviously Monday's the beginning. It's hard to remember. So highlight of the week. I'll tell you what. Yeah, it was actually. It was a youth club on a Tuesday. I don't still go to youth club.
He hangs around the back, taking pictures.
Just waiting. I was there as a volunteer, by the way, just teaching young kids guitar. And it's just a nice evening. You know, you get out the gaff for 2 hours. Some of the kids are really good at guitar. You know, you see talent in them. You know, if they carry on playing guitar at the age they're at now, then they're gonna be really good. But it's like it's a bunch of young people passionate about music.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that because
rubs off on you a little bit.
Rubs off on you, yeah. And it puts a couple of the lads there like, have you heard this band? Have you heard this band? You know, you need to go listen to this.
New
and
music.
Yeah, new music. And it's like a younger generation. So it's just nice to see. So I had a really good time this Tuesday. And it also puts me out my comfort zone as well, because at the end of the night, we've got to, we do like a group playing session.
Yeah.
Just like playing in front of people a little bit. It's not all eyes on you at all. There's like 20 people, but it's playing with other people as well. So
which is something you got to get past.
Something you got to do, yeah. So that was probably the fun. And then you always feel so motivated when you leave there, you know. You're like, I'm going to go home,
feel good,
man. And
volunteering.
You feel good volunteering, and you've just been speaking about guitar for 2 hours and music with other musicians. So you're like, I can't wait to get home and listen to some music and that.
Yeah.
So that was probably my highlight of the week. And we went round my nan's day and we've been playing backgammon with her a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she loves it. So, and it's been quite nice because when we go to my nan's, she's very how do you say it? You know, elderly people, man. They just a bit of a moan without being rude. Like, but if we get her playing backgammon, she gets into it. She doesn't speak about anything else. But if we don't, then she's going on about this, and this. So it's just been nice to see it, taking me around and just been having a laugh. So
good, man.
That's it, man.
Volunteering's class. It's class that you do that. I think it's good for you, like, for you to do it for yourself, but also to give back. Like, it's nice.
It's rewarding.
I know. I think I need to. I've always said about it, but just never actually done it. Volunteering or doing something for charity or something. But
go on.
New Year.
What's
New
your
Year's
highlight?
resolution.
New Year's res.
Maybe. So highlight of the week for me is this podcast. Being able to successfully record our first podcast.
Yeah, hopefully.
Video and audio, because this has been 3-4 weeks in the making now. Because 2-3 weeks maybe where we've had multiple failed attempts. We've had no audio. Broke two mics.
Spoke for 2 hours and recorded 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Started this one today, and when we were talking about how our first few broke, it broke. And this is the second take two. It's only about a couple of minutes.
But yeah, it's been good. So, like, going from not knowing anything about podcasting to reaching out to Dom, him helping me out, and then being able to figure out all the audio, video. Nice little milestone, and hopefully the beginning of
nice little milestone.
Milestone. Yeah,
it's a good way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to just sit back sometimes and say, like, look at what I'm doing, what I've accomplished, and just give yourself not even a pat on the back, but just be like, all right, you know, we're in the swing of things, man. We're doing right, we're doing well. So with that being said, as well, just like, obviously, with so much podcasts out there, and you know, people wanting to listen to stuff, we're gonna try follow like a similar formula every week where we talk about, you know, life, stuff that's going on, good stuff, bad stuff. We're just fucking going to be down to earth, man. Do you know what I mean? We're not here to like show off or just be, I don't know, man. It's not. I think like there's a lot of stuff on the internet where you're like, oh, this is cringy, man, and you're trying too hard, and we're sitting down and we're chatting, man,
as we would anyway.
Yeah, so like just fucking listen to us, man. Just do it, like, do you know what I mean? It's for a little hour. I know it's hard, but you can listen to 20 minutes, go listen to another 20 minutes another time. We're gonna try, I guess, get on Spotify, maybe a couple of YouTube shorts. It'll be good to get a little audience, man, because we're gonna try get guests. This is the thing, like when we're speaking to each other, we're gonna eventually, if you know it picks up a little bit, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna have conversations with other people, aren't we? Like a guest now and then, and we're gonna also just like keep it to us and have these type of conversations. But I don't know, me and you, we're just fucking down to earth, man, and that's what we're just trying to get across. That like we're just I mean, life's too short to just be hidden in your gaff. It's nice to get out once a week and just see you, mate. Like,
have good conversations. So
that's what I want. Sound.
Nice one, brother.
End of
episode
1.